What is happening, ladder climbers? Come on in, guys. As you can see, as you can see, my setup is a bit different today. Hopefully, we're not going to have any technical challenges, but if it is, we're just going to rock through it, and we're going to rock through it. We're going to rock through it. We got a good show for you guys today. We have a good show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about a number of topics that are related to the economy and your career and how you can really try to recession proof your skills so that you don't have to deal with a lot of the things that we are getting ready to experience within the economy related to our jobs, guys. At the end of the day, there are times where things go up and things go down. And at the beginning of the pandemic, you saw things went down very, very fast from an economy standpoint and an investment standpoint, but then it shot back up to the roof. And one of the areas that we focus on this channel is tech. And you saw that tech just was booming. I'm talking about Microsoft went through the roof. Google went through the roof. Amazon went through the roof. And all these companies really started to pour more money into their employees, number of hiring and so forth. And many of us got into tech because we saw the demand, but not only that, we saw the growing number of salaries. That was a huge piece of it. Hey, man, I can get into tech and I can make $100,000 a year. I can get into tech and I can make, $300,000 a year. I can get into tech and I can make, $70,000 a year. And that's true. And that will always be true. However, there's going to be ups and downs whenever the economy starts to go up or it goes down and so forth. And I just want you guys to be prepared for that. We're going to be talking about hiring freezers. We're also going to be talking about Walmart and how they're trying to fast pace you guys to get into management so that you can get to $210,000 a year. Yes, that's right. There's certain degrees, or not degrees, but there's certain professions and certain roles that you can get into as you continue to climb the ladder that's going to pay you a lot more money from a base salary standpoint. That's one of the reasons why I always talk about climbing the ladder, guys. That's one of the reasons why I talk about climbing the ladder is because as you continue to ascend up that ladder, the more money you're going to be getting paid. And we're also going to be talking about how to recession proof, and we're going to be talking about the companies, the tech companies, that is, that are in a hiring freeze. So that's going to be the show today, guys. Let me just start off by saying this. You guys noticed I'm in a different area. I'm actually in Wisconsin. Many of you already know that my father-in-law passed away last Tuesday. Teresa's father, a dad to me, and so forth. And we laid him to rest on yesterday. So yesterday was the funeral. That's the reason why I'm up here. But there's a lot of things going on. It was a beautiful event. We got a chance to see a lot of good people and so forth. And I thank you all for all of the condolences to me and my wife, my family. I really much appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. The support is always there. This was just an insane week because, of course, many of you know that we were moving. So I had to handle the move as well as, jump on a flight to head to Wisconsin, as well as do my real job, as well as doing some of the other roles that I have to do as well, too, from the coaching and so forth. So this past week was a blur, a really big blur, guys. But I'm here today. Told myself that I'm going to be here today, no matter what technology challenges we experience today, no matter what scenery, no matter how dark I look on camera or how light I look on camera, because I only have my web camera today. So we're going to rock out. I wanted to first start off this show by talking about our ladder climbers. I wanted to talk about our ladder climbers and highlight our ladder climbers because many of you guys saw the video on Thursday that I dropped, and it just highlighted some of the successes that we are experiencing as ladder climbers, part of the Black Heights community. And I can say this, guys, when you're around people that constantly achieve success, it's going to push you to achieve that same sort of success. It's important. From Brother Jabron telling me about all the new things that he does, from Brother, Gabe telling me about all the new things that he does, from, Brother Damien and so forth. And there's a whole list of people, right, that I get updates on constantly. And what it does for me and what it does for everybody else is causes them to elevate. Because when you see other people having success, you're like, man, I need to put in the work. to have that level of success as well too. Oh, Antoine's highlighting this person. He got this degree or he got this job. I need to do the same exact thing too. I need to focus. I need to focus. Brother Malik and all these people just absolutely crushing it as part of the Black Heights community. And it's important. It's important. It is infectious. It's also motivating as well too. But this week, I wanted to highlight a couple people that I had an opportunity to talk to while going through a number of, brain crazies of the crazy week and so forth. I picked up the phone for a lot of people, had a couple coaching calls and so forth. I wanted to highlight Brother Kamal, who's all the way in Japan. He's in the armed forces. He's in the U.S. Navy. And I got an opportunity to catch up with Brother Kamal this week via LinkedIn chat, just to get an update from him on how things are going. Well, Brother Kamal and I had our first coaching session in last November. And he's enlisted in the U.S. Navy, and he's stationed in Japan. And he's getting his MIS degree as a bachelor, right? That's one of the things that he wanted to get, his bachelor's in MIS. And he is at a 3.9 GPA. He has he completed 30 credit hours already, 10 college courses. He's going to be graduating with that 3.9 GPA. And he's also doing a combination of certifications and so forth that's going to cause him to be a lot more valuable when he decides to leave the armed forces and enter the job market. He also wants to get a master's in management information systems as well. And he's going to leverage, the military to help pay for all of that. So shout out to Brother Kamal, who's absolutely crushing it, absolutely crushing it. I can't even speak right now. He will be done with his master's in 2023, and he will have graduated with his bachelor's this upcoming summer. So I congratulate Brother Kamal for all the work that he's continued to put in, all the guidance that he continues to get from the ladder climbers and so forth. And I wanted to make sure I highlighted that for Brother Kamal. Shout out to Brother Eddie as well too. Brother Eddie called me while I was boarding my flight on Thursday, and I was in a United Lounge in the Houston airport because I flew from San Antonio this time. And Brother Eddie, who's been on this show before, we call him Miguel, is opening himself up to the job market again as well too. And he has a illustrious background, and he has a prestigious background and so forth, and worked for some really top companies. But he called me. He was like, Antoine, guess what, man? Guess what? I'm like, what do you want, Eddie? He's like, man, I just got an offer just now for $92,000 plus a 15% bonus plus a $15,000 signing bonus. I'm like, wow, that's fantastic. So not only this is a 27% increase from what he's currently making, this also puts additional money into his pocket that will help him towards his entrepreneurship journey. Because if many of you remember the story of Eddie, he's actually an entrepreneur as well too, and he has a app and so forth, and he's running a company at the same time. And with him getting this new role and this new offer, he's going to be able to invest more. He's going to be able to sink more into his entrepreneurship journey and so forth, and to continue to climb that ladder and continue to really grow his overall wealth and so forth. So shout out to Brother Eddie for the opportunity that he just shared with me on a new financial analyst role. I had somebody else on my list as well too that I wanted to shout out. And let me just go to my notes because I continue or I often forget. Shout out to Brother Noah. Brother Noah as well. He's crushing it in his information technology management courses at Western Governors University. Noah was probably one of the first patrons that we've had join the actual group. And he wanted to start his information technology career at Western Governors University. And he's absolutely crushing it as well, too. I think he has another 2 semesters to go before he actually graduates, but he's doing some wonderful things. He's an active person within the DC, Baltimore area, doing a lot of videography and so forth. And he has a really dope LinkedIn. So check out Brother Noah Page. And that is his handle on LinkedIn, or not LinkedIn, but also on Instagram as well. And shout out to Brother Damien. Brother Damien sent me a message the other day as well, too. He just enrolled into the Bigger Pockets course. Damien wanted to get into real estate. That's one of the things he wanted to do, get into real estate. He's also applying for another management position at Dell. And not only that, he's going into a different, getting a certification in a different form of project management for data analytics and so forth. So shout out to brother Damien as well too, who's continued to crush it and level up within his career. And Damien applied for a management position most recently, and he didn't get that position. And he wasn't one of those type of people that said anything about, hey, you know what, like, I'm gonna hold my head down. Yeah, it sucks to not get a management position that you apply for, that you know you're ready for, and so forth. And you got beat out, but he said, you know what, I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna continue to level up, and they're going to promote me. So now Damien's going to make sure that they promote him. And one of the things that he's doing is he's continuing to campaign for himself as well too, building the network and so forth, and those relationships within the company that's going to allow for him to get that promotion the next time go round. So, I said this to brother Damien when him and I got a chance to sit down and have cigars a couple weeks ago. I just said, hey, when I applied for my first management job too, or either some other jobs that I've had, I didn't get them, and they were internal, right? I mean, there's times where the company doesn't think you're ready for it, and you just have to continue to push forward and make them promote you. That's what we do. We don't leave it to any excuses about who's getting promoted, who's not getting promoted. We are making sure that we are prepared to, to whenever that opportunity comes up, we get it done. And last but not least, shout out to brother Jonathan Stevens. You guys remember in that video I talked about Jonathan, and brother Jonathan went through Boyd Clueless certification for cybersecurity. And he just got a 6-figure job, guys, as an information security officer this week. A 6-figure job as an information security officer. He was in the Navy as well, the Air Forces, right? And he retired. And he said, Antoine, I want to do something else within my career. Brandy's crushing it in the HR world and tech and so forth. It's like, Antoine, I want to do something else within my career. He decided to talk with me. I gave him some guidance. He signed up for a security certification or boot camp, and he finished that boot camp top of his class. And now he has a job as an information security auditor, and he's making over 6 figures here in Dallas, Texas. So shout out to brother Jonathan for crushing it, for crushing it, for crushing it. Guys, I say this, we're proud of all of you for the work that you're putting in, the work that you continue to do to level up, to support yourselves and your families and so forth. And, if you guys want to be part of the community, join the Patreon, book a coaching session and so forth. And guys, I've been getting a lot of emails as of late, asking for help, right? And you guys know our community is growing, and with our community growing, I have little time. So things have to be scheduled the right way. And for emails that, come to me from people who aren't patrons or people who aren't members of the channel and so forth, I will get to them, but may be some time. But one of the ways that you can get my attention is to become a patron, become part of the community, and where you get direct access to me, and we can work on a plan for yourself as well. So I wanted to get that out of the way, and shout out to all the family members that's here watching me this morning as well too, because here's the thing, right? I was talking to a lot of people yesterday during the service about Black Heights and how we're continuing to grow, and a lot of folks said that, Antoine, we're going to be tuning in for you tomorrow as well too. So I'm helping out family members as well. Let's go to the chats, guys. Let's go to the chats. We got Simon in the house. Brother Venator's in the house. We got Teresa. Miss Wade is in the house. We got Kamal, who's in the house. We got Brandy, who's in the house. Shout out to Brandy. Shout out to Kamal. Shout out to Brother Jonathan, because he's probably watching this as well, too. I just was talking about him. Shout out to Brother Noah Page, who's doing his thing. Shout out to Brother Akure. Akure is doing some fantastic work as well, too. He's looking to get into sales. I just sent his resume over to one of my HR recruiters, so they should be reaching out to him pretty soon as well too. Shout out to Brother Akure, and we're going to get him into a tech sales job. But shout out to Brother JB. He's crushing it as well too. He had a couple interviews as of late. And big time companies as well too. And JB is doing some fantastic things in the data analytics field, and he's looking to bump up his salary as well too. He's already making a good salary, but he want to make more, and he's going through that process right now. And let me tell you this, guys, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you put in the work, it will happen. You put in the work, it will happen. Shout out to Brother PBO, who's in the house. Engineering Cannabis is in the house as well too. Blockavelli is coming to us all the way from Qatar. Appreciate you, brother. And the UK investor, what tier would you just join as someone who is complete new to the tech industry? Well, it depends, right? Obviously, if you want complete access to me to quarterly coaching, I would say the professional tier. Otherwise, you can join and you can get access to me, but it won't be direct access to me, as in having my phone number, picking up the phone and calling me at any point in time. So I would say for you, the professional level. Shout out to Mr. Nix as well, too, right? And Mr. Nix and I need to catch up. And Mr. Nix is always absolutely crushing it as well, too. Let me just tell you something about this guy who continues to be a sponsor for this channel. And not only that, for this community that we're actually building, right? Brother Nix is a Azure, a VMware 49 certification gentleman who has been in the tech industry for a very long time. He not only leads from the amount of experience that he has, but he's also a leader in the community and investments and so forth, and pouring into people. And a lot of people who are looking to get into cloud, who do I point them to? I point them to Brother Nix. That's what I do. I point him to Brother Nix, who continues to support us, continues to level up, continue to be a call for anybody who's looking to get into cloud and Microsoft with the certifications and so forth, and absolutely crushing it. And guys, if you haven't checked out Mr. Nix's blog, go and check him out. It's www.martynixon2.com, www.martynixon2.com. Check out the content. It's fantastic, especially if you are a tech head doing cloud transitions and so forth. Check them out. And we also got Alaquandra in the house as well, too. She reached out to me a couple weeks ago looking at a CSM role, and she contacted me this week as well, too. Said, Antoine, I see a CSM role that came up. Should I enter your name in it for the company that you're at? Absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to Alaquandra, who's doing some fantastic things as well, too, and looking to get into her first customer success manager role. And I'm sure each welcome will be reaching out to you, too, Alaquandra. So shout out to you. Guys, let's move on to the first topic that I wanted to talk about, guys. Let's move on to the first topic that I wanted to talk about. It is companies are freezing hiring. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. So as you guys know, as I talked about when we first started the show, ups and downs and so forth. Well, you got big time companies like Meta. You got big time companies like Wayfair, who are freezing hiring, guys. So we're getting ready. If we're not already, well, put it like this, we're already in a recession, right? That's just the tailwinds of it that's going to continue to impact companies and impact people getting laid off. You heard about companies like, give me 1 second, guys. You heard about companies like Netflix, where they just Netflix most recently laid off 150 people. And a lot of these people were in the content space, right? So there's going to be more layoffs that's going to be happening. One of the things you want to do is to make yourself recession proof. And that's by having skills, not just hard skills, both hard skills and soft skills. Let's put this up here. Shout out to Brother Nix with the $50 super chat. No comments, just love. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for the super chat and the love and support, my man. I appreciate you. All right, let's jump on to that first topic, guys. Let me share my screen real quick. Let me share my screen. Where are we at here? All right, there we go. A growing number of companies are freezing or slowing hiring. And here are the firms making changes from Meta to Wayfair, guys. I'm telling you, these are the first companies that are doing it. And these are billion-dollar companies, by the way, guys. Billion-dollar companies. And they are making transitions and they're slowing their hiring. So many of you looking to get into tech, many of you already in the tech, make sure that your shit is lined up because it can impact you. I don't want it to impact you, but it can impact you, right? As the economy continues to slow down, they're going to be freezing hiring. They're going to be slowing things up. If you have skills, they're going to be hiring you. That's what they're going to do because they need people who can do the work. Let's jump into it. Companies that experience major growth over the last few years are tightening their belts. Executives reference economic shifts in their messaging. And some of these companies went on massive hiring sprees before they're changing course, right? So tech and e-commerce companies are slowing down after the explosive growth of the last few years. You guys knew HP, HPE, Microsoft, Google, all these companies just went through the roof, Facebook and so forth. Businesses like Wayfair, Meta, and DoorDash grew spending and hired throughout the pandemic, but now they're taking a step back. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ are both down since the start of the year. Inflation is at historic levels and interest rates are increasing, all leading to the shift in the economy. Guys, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. The markets look like shit. I'm just gonna say it. They absolutely look like shit. But here's the thing: when you have money and you are an investor and you invest long term, you're going to see this, whether it's in the crypto space, whether it's in the stock market space, whether it's in the housing space, it's going to happen. That's why you invest for the long term. You invest for the long term, and ultimately you're going to win. That's how I invest. And that's how I encourage you all to invest as well too. Mayfair. Mayfair said it will freeze hiring in corporate roles for 90 days. And the move is in response to a great deal of uncertainty in the overall economy. The online furniture retailer saw business spike 55% in 2020 as shoppers stuck at home bought new furniture and decor. Then sales slowed down and the company was plagued by supply chain issues, delaying orders for months. You got to think about it, right? Everybody's at home. You want to build your new office. You want to build your new space and so forth. Of course, you're just ordering a whole bunch of stuff. Matter of fact, I was one of the ones that ordered a whole bunch of stuff off of Mayfair and built my office out that you guys see where I do my YouTube content at. A lot of that stuff is from Wayfair. A lot of that stuff is actually from Wayfair. But here's a piece of it, though, right? Here's a piece of it. People bought, they had supply chain issues, and I'm in the supply chain space. Wayfair needs to be calling E2 open. We can come up with those solutions that shows them where that inventory is at. But anyway, Wayfair has nearly 17,000 employees, and they are putting their hiring on hold for 90 days. Guys, right, when you're sending your resumes out to companies, when companies are going through hiring freezes, a lot of the times you don't get a response. You don't get a response. That's why it's very important to know people at the companies that you're at or at the companies that you want to work for. That's why when we go do coaching sessions and so forth, what I tell you to do if you're applying for a job at a certain company, you want to link into as many people as possible. And you definitely want to link into the recruiter. You want to link into the recruiter. You want to pitch yourself. You want to pitch your message and so forth so that they can get you at least an interview or get you in front of the hiring manager or your resume in front of the hiring manager. A lot of times when these hiring freezes happen, it just goes to the automatic system, the ATS system, right? And it just sits there because they're not looking to hire anybody. But what ends up happening is if they get you to a recruiter and they're saying they need this job because it's a role that's needed, they're going to get you to a hiring manager, at least start the interview process. So it's important, guys. It's important to have this patience as well, too, but also to use the tactics that I share with you guys in coaching sessions to make sure that you're sending your resume in LinkedIn and you're not only that, connecting with the recruiters on LinkedIn as well, too. Let's talk about Facebook. Facebook parent Meta paused hiring on many roles for the rest of 2022. And the social media giant will also reduce hiring goals across other divisions of the company, a rarity after it announced 10,000 person hiring spree in 2021 to build the metaverse. Think about that. They came out in 2021, all this metaverse talk, metaverse this, metaverse that. We're going to be hiring 10,000 people over there in Ireland. We're going to be hiring people here in Texas and so forth. And now you see that they're making the shift because their numbers have absolutely been atrocious. They've absolutely been atrocious. You think about this in February of this year, a couple months ago, Facebook reported a decline in users for the first time ever, and stock prices plummeted 22%. They're going to they're going to freeze hiring when that happens. 22%. It's a lot of money that they lost. It was billions. A lot of that was impacted because of the Apple situation, with Apple limiting certain privacies to cell phones and iPhones and so forth. But they've gotten hit with it as well too, and now they're freezing hiring as well too. Uber's another one, guys. Uber is another one. Not for the Uber drivers out there, not for you side hustlers who are driving Uber on the side, because you're always going to be needed because people are going to need transportation. But if you're working for corporate Uber announced to workers that the company will slow spending across the business, according to internal email. Uber will treat hiring as a privilege while slashing spending on marketing incentives in response to the shift in the market. And this next period will be different. It will require a different approach, the CEO said. So you think about it, right? They're shifting their spending as well too because of the economy. They hired a whole bunch of people for their corporate, positions. And now they're saying, you know what, with this downturn, we got to figure some stuff out. Maybe marketing. We're going to slow that down. Maybe we're going to slow down other areas of the business to, wage against this inflation and the economy and how things are. DoorDash is another one. DoorDash went through the roof as well too. Under the pandemic, but shit, we was ordering DoorDash every single day, guys. Every single day. I'm talking about Teresa. Let's get some Chinese food. Let's get some pizza. DoorDash, DoorDash, DoorDash. Crushing it early on. But now that bubble and that slowdown has occurred. So DoorDash CEO Tony Zhu told workers in April that the company will slow down hiring in the rest of 2022. This year, the delivery service plans to grow its number by 10% to 15%, a major slowdown after doubling in size in 2021. They went through the roof. DoorDash was just a company just on the radar when the pandemic happened. I mean, nobody was using DoorDash like that. Next thing you know, the pandemic happened. DoorDash became a big company, a unicorn of some sort, right? Like other tech companies, DoorDash saw an explosion of growth early in the pandemic as demand for the deliveries skyrocketed, but that growth hasn't continued as food prices increase and customers have more options for delivery and dine in. Coinbase, another one. And I'm gonna tell you like this: I've been rocking with Coinbase, but most recently I moved all of my crypto out of Coinbase. Why? Because my Tezos that I invest in, they haven't been getting my staking rewards, man, for 2 months. So I moved everything out to my Exodus wallet. So Coinbase is another company that, obviously when the pandemic happened as well too, these guys went through the roof because a lot of people had more time to invest in. What happened to crypto. I think Bitcoin hit its highest number at 63,000 or 69,000 at one point in time. So they were making a killing, right? But they're slowing their hiring plans as well too. President COO Emily Chu said at the beginning of 2022, Coinbase planned to triple its size. They said they planned on tripling the size this year, but now we feel it's prudent to slow hiring as we reassess our headcount. Coinbase is the largest cryptocurrency exchange, and the news comes after a significant downturn across the crypto market. Bitcoin's value has halved in the last 6 months, and other coins have followed. Coinbase shares are down 75%, and it says it's losing users. Another company, guys. Twitter is another one. And CEO is trying to, and our guy Elon Musk was trying to buy it, right? He said the first thing he said he was going to do was give Trump back his Twitter account. I would support that. I must say, I will support that. Trump is a clown on Twitter. As much as people don't like him, oh my God, he is one of the biggest trolls in history, especially as a president, and an old president that didn't grow up in the technology age, but he knows how to get a message out there. But Twitter is also pausing hiring and rescinding some job offers, they said. The tech company confirmed an insider that, the company isn't planning on doing any layoffs, but it's failed to meet the audience and profit goals. So it's going to be rescinding some offers and slowing down on hiring, guys. So many of you who are in that job market right now and you're thinking about switching, think about this. The grasses may not always be greener on the other side. If you have offers, go ahead and take those offers and so forth if it's a good fit for you. But just know things are going to be slowing down in the market as you continue to try to get into tech and so forth. But know this, there's a way that you can continue to be valuable in the market downturn as well. As much as many people got into tech as it was booming, there's also a way to continue to get into tech when it's not booming. And I'll give you guys my thoughts on that as well too, on things that you can actually do to recession-proof yourself. And one of the things I'll share with you guys is kind of like the same values I use in my company today, right? So I've had 4+ roles in a company that I've been working for over the last 6.5, almost 7 years. One of the things I think about myself as, and I talk about this to you all as well too, is just having an entrepreneurship mindset. Getting up and having shows like this is having an entrepreneurship mindset. The company that I work for, we typically throw people into the deep end right away, right? And when it comes to sales, that means that a lot of people sink, right? They don't know how to swim. It doesn't matter how long of a sales career they've had. They don't know how to swim because a lot of companies they really handhold people when they go into sales, right? They give them 6 months of training and so forth. Well, the company that I work for, they don't do that. They said, you know what, you got to go and figure your shit out. You need to go and learn who you need to talk to inside the company, who you need to talk to outside the company. And then once you figure out who you need to talk to outside of the company, it's the challenge is in sales is selling inside your company, right? Meaning you need to get certain pricing approvals or certain SKU approvals and so forth, and the process that you need to go through. And being an entrepreneur, you have to figure out who you need to work with to get things done and get things done fast. That's why it's important to hone your soft skills and your interpersonal skills, guys. So skills like creativity, persuasion, your communication are all high value skills that you're going to need in a workforce, and that's going to help you to continue to stay recession proof. So number one is be entrepreneurial, right? Give yourself the edge by looking beyond traditional education. And a lot of traditional education comes in forms of going to college, but entrepreneurship comes in this form of talking to people a lot of the times, guys, doing things like boot camps, doing things like getting certifications. A lot of the stuff that our ladder climbers are doing is entrepreneurial, right? And not only that, being part of a ladder climbing community, a Black Heights Patreon community, it's entrepreneurship as well, too, because if you can get somebody like myself on the phone, you're learning. You're learning. And that's entrepreneurial, guys. So hone your soft skills as well. Learn tech skills is another one. Guys, I'm going to tell you like this. Technology is where it's at, and it's the future of just about every single job that exists out there. So stay informed on developing technologies, whether it's blockchain, whether it's, Java, whether it's Python, whether it's data analytics, whether it's our, AI and me, engineering cannabis, data science, all that stuff will help you to stay up to date and stay, recession proof for the most part, right? Because these companies, although they're slowing down hiring, a lot of the hiring slowdowns is going to be on some of the lower level roles. They still need valuable people to continue to build out the products and continue to invest into their future goals. And these are the people that they're going to retain and continue to hire. And the last thing I would say, guys, is continue to research, man. You got to continue to research the jobs and the fields that are constantly in demand. And I say this for the folks who watch me that are going to college or influenced by this channel and making a decision into college. There's not going to be a perfect career for everybody, but you have to figure out things that you want to do, and you have to learn and you have to try things constantly. Just like our brother PBO, he's had many jobs in tech. I mean, he's been in the tech field for 30 plus years. Mr. Nix has been in there for 20 plus years. They've done a number of things. And when they started, as PBO would tell you, when they started, some of those jobs that they started with and the technology they started with are outdated. They're outdated. So continue to research, guys. Continue to research, continue to evolve, continue to change, learn new things, and you're going to be recession proof, guys. So that's what I would give you at a high level of the things that you can actually do to stay relevant in today's market, continue to get hired, and so forth. Let's do this. Let's jump over to another topic that I wanted to hit on. Oh, this coffee is good. This coffee is good. Walmart, guys. Walmart. My favorite company, Walmart. I got a love hate for Walmart. I'm going to tell you that, guys. I think I've already shared that story with you already. But I have a love-hate relationship with Walmart. Let me do this. Let me share my other screen and get this article going. I got the birds chirping in the back. Birds are chirping. Let's talk about Walmart. Let's talk about Walmart. Our favorite company, Walmart. And Walmart's doing some fantastic things. And one of the things that I'm loving that Walmart's doing now is showing people that they can make a lot of money by getting into leadership roles. I talk about that often. Many of you say, okay, well, I'm going to get to my six-figure, salary, $100,000 a year. But what is it that you're going to be doing after that? You want to get to 150, and you want to get to 180, you want to get to 200. Well, a lot of that comes in the form of you getting into a management or leadership position where you continue to ascend up that ladder. And here's the thing. If you want to make, 200 plus $1,000 a year, if you're not, some really illustrious engineer or some engineer that has super valuable skills and have been doing it for a long time, you're not going to make that money. If you're in sales, you're going to make that money. If you are in a management, leadership, director type role, you're going to make that sort of money. In management at Walmart can pay you $210,000. And this is why other retailers should take note, they're saying, right? So Walmart is launching a 2-year pilot program to help college graduates become store managers. And these learnings focused positions could offset the effects of the great resignation, experts say. Another retailer should pay close attention on how Walmart's pilot performs. So Walmart isn't just saving people money so they can live better, as its motto proclaims. It also is looking to pay workers more so that they can live better. That's what you want to do. You want to earn more so you can live better. I mean, the cost of everything is going up. I paid for a full tank of gas the other day, 17 gallons at $4.99, guys, over $100. Over $100. That's a lot of money. You're spending that money in gas. I got to go fill up the boat. That's over $100 every single time. I will not fill it up the boat, but every time I want to use it, I just put money into it, right? And it's over $100. So things are expensive at this point in time, and you're going to have to make more money in order for you to have and live a better life. And companies like Walmart are looking to help you guys do that. About a month after the country's largest private employer announced it was increasing trucker salaries from $87,000 to between $95,000 and $110,000, the company on Sunday announced the launch of its College to Career pilot program. And this is a 2-year program, and this 2-year program will pair recent college graduates with company leaders who teach them how to run the store. So think about it like this. College to career. You are just getting out of college, right? You want to start a career. They're going to help you to become a store manager by giving you a sponsor, a mentor to teach you how to run a store. You go to school for all this education. You learn about accounting, finance, right? Profit, losses, right? Products. You go to school for all this stuff. A lot of times you come out making $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year, $70,000 a year. Now you got an opportunity to make $210,000 a year by also working for the largest retailer in the United States and probably perhaps the world. And not only that, make $210,000. That's a lot. That's a pretty good offering I think they have here. And top performers will then move into a newly created position of emerging coach, which comes with a $65,000 salary. Within 2 years, these emerging coaches can become store managers in position that came with a $210,000 salary last year. So more than likely is even higher this year or next year and so forth. The launch of the pilot program came on the heels of another bleak month of employers, especially retailers. In March, there were 11.5 million job openings and 4.5 million workers quit their jobs, the highest rate in 20 years. The retail industry experienced some of the highest levels of resignation, falling behind only the leisure and hospitality industries. The chief people officer, ICIMS, a talent recruiting company, said the Walmart move reflected a keen understanding of how to retain workers and give them a sense of achievement in a tumultuous job market. So you find that out. What's happening, guys, today is people are resigning, especially in the retail, hospitality industries and so forth. A lot of people are resigning in tech, right? Job market at one point in time was hot. Now you're starting to hear the winds of, companies starting to slow down hiring and so forth. And what you're seeing also is to retain good talent, companies are, giving their employees extra stock options. They're giving their employees other things as well, to benefits, more money, higher salaries, and so forth. And it's great. It's great. And so companies are becoming more creative on how to retain talent and how to recruit talent, to their companies, right? And that's all stuff that you're going to see, especially if you're going into a new job or if you're looking into getting into tech. You may see some of this stuff that comes across, things that we may not have talked about. I mean, like we were talking to brother Carlos Mons a couple of weeks ago, right, where we chopped up his videos. And Carlos works at Amazon, and Amazon announced that they're going to be bumping up their salaries to a max of like 385 or something like that. And Carlos is in one of those management positions. So think about that. He goes from making $180,000 a year to 380 something, right? That's crazy, insane. But that's what companies are doing these days to make sure that they can get people and great great people like the ladder climbers into their companies to stay there and to make a lot of money. And the remedy to the great resignation, Jimmy Carter, a Walmart spokesperson, said in a statement to the Insider that the pilot program this summer will have 300 students and 600 recent graduates participating from nearly every college across the country. It did not specify which colleges the participating students were graduates or where they're coming from. But given that Walmart is the largest private employer in the U.S. with 1.5 million workers, the company has a huge role to play when it comes to creating economic opportunity for frontline workers, said Cat World, the managing director of JFF Labs, and so forth. Walmart has, for a long time, really been a leader in the space of exploring the different things that they can do to create that mobility for their people. And guys, let me tell you like this. If this is something that you do, this is absolutely fantastic. And this is something that you get into. For many of you who are in college right now, this is absolutely fantastic. It's a way for you to make a shitload of money to get the coaching that you need, not just to run a store, because if you get into it, this program, and they don't have any stipulations that you need to be there for 2 to 3 years, or you do want to be there for 2 to 3 years. Think about how much you're going to gain being a leader of a store that can translate it to your entrepreneurship endeavors. I mean, you run a Walmart store, you've done it all. I mean, from working with crazies, from dealing with crazy customers, from dealing with hoods and ratchet people, dealing with trailer park, all these sort of people, right? You're dealing with all kinds of people when you work at Walmart. It's just what it is. But you're managing a large business that has networks all over the world. So if you are a store manager at Walmart, you can pretty much do anything. So think about that. That's what I want you to think about the long term. Okay, if I run a Walmart store, I don't have to be in retail. I can pretty much be anywhere I want, because you're going to deal with tech. You're going to need tech. You're going to need reporting. You're going to have the soft skills, the people skills, because you're going to work with some crazy people. You're going to have to deal with some crazy customers. You're also going to work with some good people and some really fantastic customers as well, too. So it's going to give you a balance of both. But I wanted to just share that with you guys because it's an opportunity for many of you guys getting into college, MIS degrees, coming out of college, and so forth, that Walmart has this going on. And if you want more information on this, I'll drop the article right here into the link right now for you guys to go and check it out. Boom. There we go. The link is in the description. All right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen there. And we got one more topic that I wanted to hit on. And I'm going to end the show off this last topic. This is a good one, guys. Many of you, after the pandemic, you had to work remote. Many of you are in tech and you love working remote. I must say, I've been remote for maybe about 13, 14 years. I'm in the city of my headquarters. I don't go in, right? I know a lot of people. I can work remote and still maintain visibility, right? Many of you want to work remote and it's fine. You don't have the network. You haven't built those relationships yet. You don't know a lot of people. But guess what happens when we hit a downturn? You're probably going to be one of the first ones to go, because if people don't know who you are, they don't know the work that you do, you're going to be probably one of the ones at most risk when an economic downturn happens. So you're going to be one of the first ones that get that little slip and get marched out. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. He was in HR, older gentleman, Paul, at the vineyard before I came to Wisconsin. He was like, man, Antoine, because I walked out with about 6 bottles of wine to bring to my wife, for Wisconsin to surprise her and so forth. And he was like, you're walking out of here like I used to walk people out of the office when we used to terminate them, right? Boxes and so forth, and cameras are all looking at them and so forth. Well, this could potentially be you if you are a worker who's working remote. You don't toot your own horn. You don't follow the things that we talk about as far as the ladder climbers, tooting your own horn, making sure you have the visibility, networking, and so forth. And you are a remote worker and nobody knows who you are. Guys, you may be one of the first ones that gets axed. That's just what it is. That is just what it is. So let's talk about this. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to hit one more article and we will go there. And here's the reason why. So why remote workers are at risk of getting axed first in the tech downturn. Remote workers, man, work from home may provide comfort, but not job security. And I would say this, guys, it is very comfortable working from home. It's lovely. I absolutely love working from home. I do this sort of stuff. I can work from the boat. I can work from my, mother-in-law's backyard like this, and you guys get to see all the greenery and so forth. And it's fantastic. I can work in, with sweatshirts on and Under Armour shirts all day, to where it becomes my regular wear, right? And it's beautiful. It provides a lot of flexibility for me to spend time with the family, the kids, and so forth, and for you to do the exact same thing. But for many of you, these perks are great, but it doesn't provide you job security if you don't, or if you aren't known, and you don't have that visibility that you need within the company. So tech employees who work remotely risk getting axed over their in-person colleagues, as tiny startups and big tech firms alike get squeezed by rising interest rates and plummeting stock prices, experts say. Techies look to hold onto their jobs should therefore consider ditching their pajamas and getting back into the office if they want to hold on to their jobs. They're saying, guys, get your ass back into the office. If you're not a PBO, you're not a Simon, right? You're not a crypt technology. You're not an engineering cannabis, right? If you're coming out of school and you're like, they give me that remote work, you better get your ass to the office, guys. You better, if you don't get to the office, I must say that you don't have to get to the office. They're saying get to the office because it's more of a general statement for that visibility. But you better do a darn good job at networking. You should know your manager. You should know your manager's manager. You should know your manager's manager's manager. Get on their radar. Get on their radar, guys. Your performance should be good. If you're a ladder climber, your performance is going to be good. So I'm not talking directly to ladder climbers. But if you're ladder climbing and you're slipping and you don't have that visibility and you aren't tooting your own horn and you aren't tracking to the objectives that you are in that role for, and sharing that with other individuals, and you're just flying under the radar, just getting it done, working from home, playing Madden during the day, you're probably going to be laid off if your company starts to look to lay off people. Okay, so get your butt to the office. And managers believe employees who work remote, oh gosh, managers believe employees who work remote are lower performers than those who come into the office. And I don't know if that's always true, because that's some people, yes, that's a mindset type of a thing. But some managers do believe that people who work remote are lower performers than people who go to the office. They will, on average, be more likely to lay off those who are working remote than those who are coming into the office. Simply put, it's out of sight, out of mind, he added. And that's where we're talking about. If you're just flying under the radar, getting your job done, nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows the work that you do. You're flying under the radar, guys. Nobody knows who you are. You're out of sight, out of mind. And nobody calls and checks up on you in a day or teams and knows what you're doing. Guys, there's a problem. If there's a problem, you don't have email communication with your boss at least every other day. It should be at least once a day. There's a problem. If you're not talking to coworkers and so forth in your teams or your Zoom, or you're not engaged in meetings and you're just writing it out, there's a problem. You're probably going to get the axe. And I don't want you to come and say to, me or any of the ladder climbers in the network, guys, I got laid off. Mr. Wade, I got laid off. Well, why'd you get laid off? Well, I wasn't, putting in the work. I wasn't practicing what you talked about in some of your shows and giving us all this game online. I wasn't tooting my own horn, right? I wasn't asking for more. If you're out of sight, out of mind, you're not going to be hanging on to that job very long. The news comes as tech workers are getting jittery about their jobs. Facebook and Instagram parent company Meta implemented a hiring freeze earlier in May, while smaller firms, including Netflix, Peloton, Robinhood, Carvana, GoPuff, have all laid off employees in the recent months. Online, an anonymous corporate message board with verified members, tech workers have been fretting about layoffs and the potential end of remote work in recent weeks. Will recession layoffs bring everyone back to the office? One employee of the software firm Carter wrote in late April. Yes, it will, no doubt, a Google employee responded. Can't go into an office if you're laid off. Another, oh shit, another Google employee quit. A separate thread, an Apple employee wrote that tech companies missing revenue targets and making layoffs are a dream come true for the return to the office lobby, right? So if I'm evaluating who I'm going to get rid of, this is what a manager says, guys. If I'm evaluating who I'm going to get rid of, I might choose to keep the person who's in the office and is near me all the time. That's the statement that I want to you guys to resonate with. If I'm evaluating, so think about you as a manager. You have 10 people that works for you, right? 10 people that works for you. You got, 6 of them that you know exactly what they're doing because they check in, you keep in tabs and so forth. You got 4 other people on your team who you just barely hear from. You know they're getting work done, but they're probably not the best employees and so forth. And they're not asking for a lot, right? They're just, getting paid and so forth. And, they're in training and so forth and things like that. You don't see them, right? So you really don't spend a lot of time with them. You don't spend a lot of time with them. Well, when HR comes to you or your director comes to you and says, "Hey, John, um, you need to get rid of 2 employees. Your budget has been slashed. We are going into hiring freezes, and we have to get rid of about 13% of our workforce. Who is it that you have that you can get rid of? You have to get rid of 2 people. Who do you think Johnny is going to get rid of? Out of the 10 employees, 6 he already knows what they do, constantly in contact with them, reaching out and so forth. The 4 who he knows, but they, aren't keeping in contact with him. They're getting their work done, but they're kind of flying under the radar. He doesn't talk to him very much. They don't talk to him very much. They don't ask very many questions, right? It's probably going to be 2 of the 4. Probably going to be 2 of the 4. So just remember that, guys. If you are a manager, how would you ultimately make that decision? And me as a business owner, I would make the decision based on the people, right? Based on the people that I know what they're doing. They're asking for more. I have a good relationship with versus the people who I don't have a relationship with, right? People who aren't asking for more. It's just what it is. That's how it works. That's how it works in real life as well, too, right? People who you don't know, the people who don't show up, the people who fly under the radar are typically the ones that's going to get axed. So I want you guys to just remember that you don't have to necessarily be in the office, but make yourself visible. That's the most important thing. Make yourself visible. And if your company is calling you guys back to the office, you might want to be there because that's going to give you an opportunity to become more visible as well, too. So, guys, that's what I have for the show for you guys today. We're at 53 minutes. Let me hit on these chats to see if I missed anything. Let's see if I missed anything. Darian Wright is in the house. I appreciate you for being here, my man. Thank you so much. Let's hit on this. Ashton James, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Kamal says, I found it interesting that despite the stock market crashing, my dividend stocks are the ones that increase in value. You're absolutely right, Kamal. That's another thing. We're talking about, that's another subject. That's another conversation that we're talking about, too. Dividend stocks are absolutely fantastic. That's why I even invest in cryptocurrencies that give me returns, things like Tezos, right? Things like Tezos that consistently give returns. The UK investor says, Mr. Nix, what is your website? I'm about to drop that in here right now. I have it off the top of my head at this point in time. Marty Nix son. Two. And Mr. Nix, you can drop it in here as well, too, if I got this wrong. But let me make sure I get the link in here. Many people can't do this. There we go. Check out Mr. Nix, guys. The website here. Sponsor constantly shows up and constantly gets it done. Frisian 97 said, I'm ready to get into tech, leaving them steel boots in there. Yes. Leaving those steel boots in the trash. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were talking about Antoine. You know what, man? Like, when I saw your Walmart video, not your Walmart, but your Amazon video, it really resonated with me because I'm telling you, I grew up, knowing factory work, knowing warehouse work, and that's the way how he's been able to build a life for himself. But he says, Antoine, I'm getting up there in age, and it aches. I ache. He's like, do you ache? I'm like, yeah, I ache, but I ache not from lifting boxes and wearing steel toe boots, man. So consider getting the tech, man. Free agent 97, consider it, my man. Engineer Kansas said, would the tech jobs be highly impacted, or would regular jobs pay minimum wage be impacted more? Still getting interviews from big companies. I would say this: the minimum wage jobs will be impacted more. It's just what it is. You think about when we talked about that engineering cannabis, right? They said retailers and so forth, right? Those are frontline employees, right? But there's still, it's you're going to find that happening in hospitality and all this other stuff because things are going to start slowing down. People are not going to be traveling as much anymore. So that is going to be impacted. Frontline workers. There will be some tech workers being impacted as well too, because you got to think about those are high dollar positions. And as you continue to ascend up the ladder, which is another thing I want you guys to remember, as you continue to ascend, your fall is going to be a bigger fall. There's going to be a bigger fall because they can say, okay, well, you're a director, you're managing, an organization of 87 people. Your organization may not be doing good. You may be making, $500,000 a year. Well, that $500,000 salary is really easy to get rid of. It's really easy to get rid of because they can find somebody else who wants to become a director and then take 250, right? So, it's not going to be ever a perfect situation, but I can tell you this right now. Guys, that they will be getting rid of people in tech as well as frontline workers as well too. And the people who are going to be impacted, I would say this, are the people who aren't contributing as much to the organization. Let's see. Miss Wade says, guys, you want to book a coaching session? Check it out. www.blkheights.com. Check it out. Von Official. Can you be a software developer through certifications? Yes, you can. You can become a software developer through boot camps and certifications. Absolutely. Our brother Christian's in the house. My man checked on me all week. My brother Christian is always checking on his brother, man. I appreciate you, brother Christian. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Hope everything is going well with you. We got to catch up soon as well, too. Mr. Nick said, guys, get the likes up. Get the likes up. Definitely get the likes up here for sure. Guys, I don't know what's going on with my chats over here, but it looks like things are just a little bit slow, and probably because of the Wi-Fi that I'm on. But, guys, that's all I had for you this morning. I wanted to make sure I get this done today, and we're going to continue to celebrate the life of my father-in-law who are in town. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you so much for all the game and the love and all of the back and forth in the chat too, because that's one thing as well too about the community. I don't have to be the one that's giving the game. We have so many people in here in this chat who has years of knowledge. And you can just see by the chats that's going on, you got people that are constantly giving each other the game. Brother PBO, big brother of mine who's in Indianapolis, right? Crushing it. He's been in the tech for 50 years. Brother Nix. I mean, you're talking about that's over almost, I don't want to say you guys' age, but that's cool. 80 years of experience. Brother Noah, right? That's 100 years of experience in the tech world. Engineering cannabis, that's 130 years worth of experience. Blockavelli, who's in guitar. JB, all these guys have experience. And when you join the Patreon, when you join the Black Hats community, this is the access that you guys get access. These are the people that you get access to. Okay. These are the people that you get access to. So I wanted to shout that out as well too, and say, guys, thank you so much for all the love and support that you guys continue to pour into me and that I'm pouring back into you as well too. I love the engagement into the chats. That's been absolutely amazing. And I want you guys to go and have a good rest of your day. Go and have a good rest of your day. That's important. And we will catch up on next Saturday. And until next time, y'all. Peace.